Ladies and gentlemen, let me start with a simple truth. Being nice isn't the same as being kind. Niceness is often a mask, a performance rooted in our desire to avoid conflict, to be liked, or to keep the peace. But being kind, that comes from strength, from a place of authenticity and respect for ourselves and others. Today, I'm here to tell you, stop being nice to men. Kindness and niceness may seem like similar qualities, but they are fundamentally different in their origins, intentions, and outcomes. Understanding this difference is crucial because it shapes how we engage with others and, more importantly, how we uphold our values and self-worth. Kindness comes from a place of authenticity and strength. It is rooted in empathy, compassion, and a genuine desire to do what is right for both yourself and others. A kind person acts out of integrity, even when it might be uncomfortable or unpopular. Kindness is deliberate and thoughtful. It acknowledges the humanity in others while remaining firmly connected to one's own sense of self. It's about giving without losing yourself, showing care without compromising your boundaries, and maintaining relationships without forfeiting respect. Niceness, on the other hand, often stems from a desire to avoid conflict, seek approval, or maintain harmony at any cost. It is a behavior rooted in fear of rejection, fear of confrontation, and fear of being perceived as difficult or unlikable. Niceness prioritizes surface-level harmony over deeper connection, often sacrificing honesty and authenticity in the process. When we are nice, we may say yes when we want to say no, smile when we feel upset, or stay silent when something bothers us. While niceness may seem harmless or even admirable on the surface, it can lead to unintended consequences. It often creates a dynamic where others may take advantage of your agreeable nature, mistaking it for a lack of conviction or strength. Over time, consistently choosing niceness over honesty can erode your sense of self and leave you feeling unseen, unheard, and undervalued. Kindness, however, is not afraid of discomfort. It allows for difficult conversations, the setting of boundaries, and the expression of authentic emotions, all while maintaining respect for others. Unlike niceness, kindness does not shy away from truth, it embraces it, knowing that honesty is the foundation of genuine relationships. It values depth over convenience and connection over compliance. When we choose to be kind rather than nice, we communicate that we value ourselves and the people around us enough to be real. Kindness is not always easy, but it is always worthwhile as it fosters trust, respect, and meaningful interactions. People-pleasing is often seen as a way to maintain harmony, avoid conflict, and gain approval. On the surface, it appears noble, putting others first, accommodating their needs, and ensuring everyone is happy. However, the reality is that people-pleasing comes with a significant price, one that is often paid in the currency of self-worth, authenticity, and emotional well-being. At its core, people-pleasing is driven by a fear of rejection or disapproval. It can manifest as saying yes when you want to say no, avoiding difficult conversations, or going out of your way to ensure someone else is comfortable, even at your own expense. While these actions might provide short-term relief or validation, the long-term effects are far more damaging. When you prioritize the comfort of others over your own needs, you send a message to yourself and those around you that your feelings, desires, and boundaries are less important. One of the most immediate consequences of people-pleasing is emotional exhaustion. Constantly putting the needs of others ahead of your own requires an immense amount of energy. It can leave you feeling drained, resentful, and even disconnected from yourself. Over time, the effort to maintain this facade can lead to burnout, as you struggle to keep up with the endless demands and expectations you've inadvertently invited into your life. People-pleasing also erodes your sense of self. When your decisions are guided by what others want or expect, rather than what you truly believe or need, you begin to lose touch with your own identity. This disconnection can make it difficult to recognize your own desires, values, and priorities. The more you suppress your authentic self to fit into someone else's narrative, the harder it becomes to reclaim your voice and stand confidently in your truth. Another significant cost of people-pleasing is the impact it has on relationships. While you may think that accommodating others will strengthen your connections, it often does the opposite. People may come to expect your constant compliance, taking your efforts for granted, or failing to recognize the sacrifices you are making. This dynamic can lead to feelings of resentment on your part and a lack of mutual respect in the relationship. Genuine connections require honesty and balance, and people-pleasing disrupts both. Finally, people-pleasing can limit your personal growth and opportunities. By constantly putting others first, you may neglect your own goals, aspirations, and potential. Fear of disappointing others can keep you from pursuing paths that might lead to fulfillment and success. Instead, you remain stuck in a cycle of prioritizing external validation over internal satisfaction, which can prevent you from reaching your full potential. While people-pleasing may feel like the safer choice in the moment, the long-term consequences reveal that it is anything but. The price you pay is often far greater than the temporary approval or peace it provides, as it compromises your well-being, authenticity, and ability to create meaningful, balanced relationships. Respect and approval are often confused, but they stem from entirely different places and have vastly different impacts on our lives. Approval is rooted in the desire to be liked, to fit in, or to gain affirmation from others. It's often a fleeting, surface-level validation that depends on meeting the expectations or preferences of those around us. Respect, however, is much deeper. It is earned through integrity, authenticity, and the consistent demonstration of one's values and boundaries. Seeking approval often means adapting, conforming, or suppressing parts of yourself to align with what you think others want. It can feel gratifying in the moment. A nod of agreement, a smile of acceptance, or verbal praise can provide a sense of validation. But this approval comes at a cost. When you prioritize being liked over being true to yourself, you risk compromising your identity, values, and self-respect. The more you chase approval, the more you become dependent on external validation to feel worthy, creating a cycle that is difficult to break. Respect, on the other hand, requires courage and self-assurance. It involves standing firm in your principles, even when doing so might not win you immediate favor. Respect is built over time as people come to see you as someone who is consistent, trustworthy, and authentic. Unlike approval, respect is not about pleasing everyone. It's about demonstrating that you value yourself enough to be honest and true, even in the face of disagreement or criticism. One of the key differences between respect and approval is the foundation on which they are built. Approval is transactional, often based on whether you meet someone's expectations or provide something they want. It can disappear as quickly as it arrives, leaving you feeling unmoored and questioning your worth. Respect, however, is relational. It is earned through actions that demonstrate strength of character, emotional intelligence, and the willingness to uphold boundaries. When you prioritize respect over approval, you begin to shift how you interact with others. Instead of seeking to please or appease, you focus on expressing yourself honestly and authentically. This might mean saying no when you need to, addressing conflicts directly, or making choices that align with your values, even if they're unpopular. While these actions may not always result in immediate approval, they foster a deeper, more enduring form of connection, one based on mutual understanding and trust. Choosing respect over approval also transforms how you see yourself. When you stop relying on others to validate your worth, you develop a stronger sense of self-confidence and inner peace. You learn to trust your instincts, value your opinions, and stand firm in your beliefs, regardless of external reactions. This self-assuredness not only enhances your relationships, but also empowers you to navigate life with greater clarity and purpose. The pursuit of approval is often tied to a fear of rejection or conflict, but prioritizing respect allows you to embrace discomfort as a necessary part of growth. Respect doesn't mean avoiding disagreement. It means approaching it with honesty and integrity. By doing so, you model the kind of interactions that invite others to respect you in return. It's not about being liked by everyone. It's about being valued by those who matter for who you truly are. Honesty is one of the most powerful and transformative tools we have in our interactions with others and with ourselves. It goes beyond merely telling the truth. It involves living authentically, speaking with integrity, and aligning our actions with our values. Honesty creates trust, fosters respect, and lays the foundation for meaningful and enduring relationships. One of the most significant aspects of honesty is its ability to build trust. Trust is not formed by perfection, but by consistency and transparency. When you are honest, people know they can rely on you to be real with them, even when the truth is uncomfortable or inconvenient. This reliability strengthens bonds and creates a sense of safety in relationships, as others feel confident that you will not mislead them or hide your true intentions. Trust, in turn, encourages openness and collaboration, making honesty a cornerstone of effective communication and teamwork. Honesty also fosters clarity. In a world where miscommunication and misunderstandings can easily lead to conflict, being honest helps eliminate ambiguity. It allows you to express your needs, desires, and boundaries in a way that others can clearly understand. When you are honest, you avoid the confusion and resentment that often arise when people are left guessing about your true feelings or intentions. Clarity is liberating, as it reduces unnecessary complications and creates a path for genuine connection and resolution. Additionally, honesty is a profound act of self-respect. When you choose to be honest, you affirm your own worth and value. It means that you believe your voice matters, that your feelings are valid, and that your truth deserves to be heard. This self-respect is empowering. It encourages you to stand up for yourself, make decisions that align with your beliefs, and reject situations or relationships that compromise your integrity. The more you practice honesty, the more confident and authentic you become, as you learn to trust your inner voice rather than seeking external validation. Honesty is also transformative in its ability to create space for growth. While dishonesty or avoidance might temporarily shield us from conflict or discomfort, it ultimately prevents us from addressing deeper issues. Honesty, however, brings everything to light, creating an opportunity to confront challenges, learn from mistakes, and work toward improvement. Whether it's admitting a shortcoming, having a difficult conversation, or acknowledging a hard truth about yourself, honesty paves the way for personal and relational growth. Moreover, honesty deepens emotional intimacy. When you are honest about your thoughts, feelings, and vulnerabilities, you invite others to do the same. This mutual exchange creates a level of understanding and connection that is impossible to achieve through superficial interactions. Vulnerability, though often seen as a weakness, is actually a profound strength. And honesty is the vehicle through which vulnerability can be expressed. By being honest, you create a safe space where others feel encouraged to open up, leading to deeper, more fulfilling relationships. Honesty is not always easy. It can feel risky to speak your truth, especially when it might lead to conflict, rejection, or discomfort. However, the short-term challenges of honesty are far outweighed by its long-term rewards. By embracing honesty, you align yourself with authenticity, foster trust and respect, and open the door to meaningful growth and connection. It is through honesty that we cultivate the relationships, opportunities, and self-awareness that lead to a truly fulfilling life. Boundaries are not just guidelines for how others should treat us. They are a powerful expression of our self-worth. Establishing and maintaining boundaries sends a clear message to ourselves and those around us that we value our time, energy, and emotional well-being. Far from being selfish or restrictive, boundaries are an essential part of healthy relationships and personal growth. Setting boundaries begins with recognizing your own needs and limits. It requires a deep understanding of what is important to you, what you can handle, and what feels disrespectful or harmful. This self-awareness is an act of self-respect. It shows that you are willing to prioritize your well-being and advocate for yourself. When you know your limits, you can communicate them clearly to others, creating relationships that are rooted in mutual understanding and respect. Boundaries are also a way of protecting your energy. Without them, it's easy to become overwhelmed, overcommitted, or drained by the demands and expectations of others. When you fail to set boundaries, you may find yourself saying yes to things that don't serve you, sacrificing your own needs to please others, or tolerating behaviors that make you uncomfortable. This pattern can lead to exhaustion, resentment, and a diminished sense of self. Boundaries allow you to conserve your energy for what truly matters, enabling you to show up more fully and authentically in your life. In relationships, boundaries serve as a foundation for mutual respect. They clarify what is acceptable and what isn't, creating a framework for healthy interactions. Without boundaries, misunderstandings and imbalances can easily arise, as others may unintentionally overstep your limits or fail to recognize your needs. By setting boundaries, you teach others how to treat you and establish a dynamic that is based on respect rather than assumption. This not only strengthens relationships, but also fosters deeper connections, as both parties feel valued and understood. Boundaries also empower you to take responsibility for your own happiness and well-being. They remind you that you are not obligated to fix, save, or accommodate others at the expense of yourself. While it's natural to want to help and support the people you care about, doing so without boundaries can lead to codependency or burnout. By setting clear limits, you create space for both yourself and others to grow independently, fostering healthier and more balanced relationships. Now, perhaps most importantly, boundaries reinforce the belief that you are worthy of respect and care. When you set boundaries, you demonstrate that you value yourself enough to stand up for what you need and deserve. This act of self-advocacy is a powerful affirmation of your self-worth. It shows that you are willing to prioritize your well-being, even if it means facing discomfort or risking conflict. Over time, this practice can help you build greater confidence, self-respect, and resilience. Setting boundaries isn't always easy. It often requires difficult conversations, moments of vulnerability, and the willingness to face potential pushback. However, the effort is worthwhile. Each time you establish a boundary, you reinforce the idea that your needs matter and that you deserve to be treated with respect and care. Boundaries are not barriers to connection. They are bridges to healthier, more fulfilling relationships with yourself and others. By honoring your boundaries, you honor your worth, creating a life that reflects your values, priorities, and authenticity. Breaking the cycle of inequality requires a conscious effort to challenge deeply rooted societal norms, behaviors, and structures that perpetuate imbalances in power, opportunity, and respect. Inequality is often sustained by systems and mindsets that normalize inequity, making it invisible or acceptable to those who benefit from or are unaffected by it. To disrupt this cycle, individuals and communities must first acknowledge its presence and then take deliberate actions to dismantle it. One of the key steps in breaking the cycle of inequality is recognizing how it manifests in everyday interactions and decisions. Inequality isn't always obvious. It often operates through subtle biases, unspoken assumptions, and ingrained habits. For example, in interpersonal relationships, inequality can take the form of unequal emotional labor, imbalanced decision-making power, or the expectation that one person consistently sacrifices their needs for the other. These patterns, though they may seem minor, reinforce larger systemic inequalities and normalize the idea that certain individuals or groups are less deserving of fairness or respect. Challenging these dynamics requires a willingness to question what is often taken for granted. It involves examining the ways in which societal expectations, cultural traditions, and personal behaviors contribute to inequality. For instance, many people are conditioned to avoid conflict or prioritize harmony, even when it means tolerating unfair treatment or remaining silent in the face of injustice. Breaking the cycle of inequality means rejecting this passivity and choosing instead to address inequities directly, even when it is uncomfortable. Education plays a crucial role in disrupting inequality. By increasing awareness of how historical, economic, and social factors have shaped the current landscape, individuals can better understand the systemic nature of inequality and their own role in perpetuating or challenging it. Education also empowers people to identify and confront their biases, equipping them with the tools to make more equitable choices in their personal and professional lives. Empowerment is another essential component of breaking the cycle of inequality. Inequality thrives when individuals feel powerless to change their circumstances or challenge the status quo. By fostering self-worth, building confidence, and creating opportunities for growth and leadership, people can begin to reclaim their agency and advocate for themselves. And empowerment isn't just about individual transformation. It's about creating ripple effects that inspire collective action and systemic change. Collaboration is vital in this process. Inequality cannot be dismantled in isolation. It requires partnerships, allyship, and the active participation of all stakeholders. Those who hold privilege or power in a given context must be willing to listen, learn, and take meaningful action to address disparities. This means amplifying marginalized voices, sharing resources, and creating spaces where everyone has an equal opportunity to contribute and thrive. Breaking the cycle of inequality also requires a commitment to accountability. Change cannot happen without an honest assessment of where inequities exist and who benefits from them. Accountability involves holding individuals, organizations, and systems responsible for perpetuating injustice and demanding transparency, fairness, and inclusivity. It also means being willing to acknowledge and address one's own complicity in maintaining unequal dynamics, whether through action or inaction. Finally, disrupting inequality involves imagining and creating new possibilities. It's not enough to simply dismantle existing structures of inequity. There must also be a vision for what a more just and equitable world looks like. This vision requires creativity, courage, and a willingness to embrace change. By building systems, relationships, and cultures that prioritize fairness, respect, and mutual empowerment, it becomes possible to not only break the cycle of inequality, but to replace it with something far more inclusive and sustainable. Confidence and convenience often stand in opposition to one another, especially when it comes to making decisions or navigating challenges. Confidence is rooted in self-assurance, clarity of values, and a willingness to act with conviction, even in the face of discomfort or resistance. It requires intentionality, effort, and often a degree of vulnerability. Convenience, on the other hand, is about ease and the path of least resistance. So it prioritizes immediate comfort or efficiency, often at the expense of long-term growth or authenticity. Understanding the difference between these two mindsets is essential for making choices that align with your goals and integrity. And confidence calls for stepping into discomfort, especially when pursuing something meaningful. It asks you to trust your abilities, stand by your values, and take risks, even when success isn't guaranteed. For instance, expressing an unpopular opinion, setting boundaries, or pursuing a challenging opportunity all require confidence because they might lead to conflict, failure, or rejection. However, confidence is what allows you to navigate these situations with resilience and self-respect, knowing that your choices are aligned with your deeper purpose. Convenience, by contrast, often prioritizes short-term relief over long-term fulfillment. It can feel easier to avoid difficult conversations, say yes when you mean no, or stick to familiar routines rather than venture into the unknown. While these choices may reduce immediate stress or effort, they often come with hidden costs, such as compromised authenticity, missed opportunities, or diminished self-confidence, or dualism. Choosing convenience may feel satisfying in the moment, but it can lead to regret or frustration when you realize you've sacrificed something important in the process. The tension between confidence and convenience is particularly evident when facing decisions that require courage. Confidence asks you to take responsibility for your choices and accept the potential challenges that come with them. For example, pursuing a career change, ending an unhealthy relationship, or advocating for your needs at work are all scenarios that demand confidence. These decisions may not be convenient. They often involve uncertainty, effort, and persistence, but they are driven by a commitment to what truly matters to you. Convenience, on the other hand, often tempts you to settle for what feels safe or easy. It might encourage you to stay in a job you dislike because the process of finding something new seems overwhelming, or to avoid addressing a conflict in a relationship because it feels too uncomfortable. While these choices may spare you temporary discomfort, they can ultimately keep you stuck in situations that don't align with your values or aspirations. Confidence also requires a level of self-trust that convenience does not. When you act with confidence, you believe in your ability to handle challenges, adapt to change, and overcome obstacles. This self-trust builds resilience and empowers you to take risks that lead to growth. Convenience, however, can erode this trust by encouraging you to avoid challenges rather than confront them. If over time, consistently choosing convenience can make you doubt your own capacity to handle adversity, leading to a cycle of avoidance and stagnation. Ultimately, the choice between confidence and convenience is a reflection of your priorities and values. Confidence often means embracing the harder path because it aligns with your principles and goals, while convenience prioritizes ease, even if it means compromising what truly matters. By choosing confidence, you affirm your belief in your own potential and your commitment to living authentically. It's not always the easiest choice, but it is the one that leads to growth, fulfillment, and a life that reflects your true self. Authenticity is the foundation of meaningful, lasting relationships. When we are authentic, we show up as our true selves, unafraid to express our thoughts, feelings, and desires without masking them to fit in or gain approval. This transparency fosters a sense of trust and openness, allowing for deeper connections to form. Authenticity invites others to do the same, creating a dynamic where both parties feel valued for who they truly are, rather than who they think they should be. In relationships, authenticity eliminates the need for pretense, which often acts as a barrier to genuine connection. When you are authentic, you are not concerned with putting on a facade or trying to meet others' expectations. This openness fosters vulnerability, which is essential for developing trust and intimacy. Rather than engaging in surface-level interactions based on assumptions or social roles, authentic relationships involve real, honest communication. This makes the bond between individuals stronger and more resilient, as it is built on a shared understanding of each other's true selves. When we present ourselves authentically, we invite the same from others. By demonstrating that we are willing to be vulnerable and honest, we create a safe space for others to do the same. This mutual openness deepens the connection and allows both people to feel seen, heard, and understood in a way that superficial interactions simply cannot. Authenticity fosters a sense of belonging because it removes the pressure to perform or pretend, allowing individuals to simply exist as they are. Furthermore, authentic relationships tend to be more balanced. When we are true to ourselves, we set clear boundaries, communicate our needs, and act in ways that align with our values. This consistency creates a sense of security in relationships, as both parties understand where they stand and can trust each other to honor the terms of the connection. Authenticity reduces the possibility of misunderstandings or disappointments because there is less ambiguity about intentions, desires, and limits. By embracing authenticity, we also invite more empathy and understanding into our relationships. When we are open about our feelings and experiences, we create opportunities for others to offer support and compassion. This emotional sharing strengthens the bond between individuals as it fosters a sense of solidarity and mutual care. Authenticity promotes emotional transparency, which allows individuals to connect on a deeper level and navigate challenges with greater resilience. Being authentic also encourages personal growth within relationships. It pushes us to confront our own truths, embrace our vulnerabilities, and continually evolve as individuals. Authentic relationships hold up a mirror, reflecting who we truly are and offering opportunities for self-awareness and self-improvement. As we grow into our authentic selves, we attract relationships that nurture this growth and provide the space for us to evolve. Moreover, authenticity breeds respect. When we are honest about who we are and what we need, we communicate that we value ourselves and expect the same from others. This self-respect establishes a precedent for respect in return, creating a balanced dynamic where each individual's feelings, opinions, and desires are honored. This fosters a relationship environment that is supportive, empowering, and aligned with both individuals' needs and aspirations. In contrast, when we suppress or distort our true selves to gain approval or avoid conflict, we create a dissonance in the relationship. This inauthenticity can lead to resentment, misunderstandings, or emotional distance, as the true needs of each person go unmet. It can create a sense of isolation, where both individuals feel disconnected from each other because the relationship is based on a version of themselves that doesn't fully exist. Authenticity brings depth and sincerity to relationships, transforming them into spaces of trust, growth, and mutual understanding. It requires courage to show up as you are, but the rewards are immeasurable. Genuine connections, a sense of belonging, and a relationship dynamic built on truth and respect. By choosing authenticity, we invest in relationships that are meaningful, supportive, and real. In conclusion, embracing the principles of confidence, authenticity, respect, and healthy boundaries allows us to break free from the cycle of inequality and people-pleasing, ultimately leading to stronger, more meaningful relationships. Confidence enables us to act with conviction even when it challenges convenience or comfort, while authenticity invites us to show up as respect as a foundation of mutual understanding, teaches us to value ourselves and others, while boundaries ensure that we protect our energy and emotional well-being. By choosing these principles over the temporary comfort of conformity or approval, we cultivate a life that is aligned with our true values, fostering personal growth, empowerment, and the kind of relationships that nurture and sustain us. If you have a path, as we commit to being authentic and courageous, we create spaces where we can thrive, where inequality has no place, and where true connections are formed, not just with others, but with ourselves as well.